do you ever feel in spaces where I actually don't want to share my story? I don't want to share that I'm dyslexic. Or
I
you
always see it as I cannot not share because the world sometimes is not present enough to accommodate me and my shortcomings. So if I am vulnerable, I give everyone an opportunity to accommodate me.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the Conversation Capital. I start all the time with so much gratitude because I'm always so overwhelmed by the love and support that you guys have been showing the Conversation Capital. We reached 1 year, when was it? February, ne? And I was just like, whoa, oh my gosh, time flies. It's been an amazing journey, Bonga. I'm so grateful. Actually, I'm about to enter into I'm so grateful for you and Kevin, but I'm not going to do that. Bonga, how are you doing?
I'm good, babes. How are you?
I am happy, thank you. Today, we're chatting all things to do with living with dyslexia. And so I brought in a trusted friend of the show. Can I call you a trusted friend of the show?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I've been here 3 times.
Yes.
Oh, this is the 3rd time.
Yes, this is the
first
3rd
one,
time. Yeah. So
There
and
was
so.
a technical issue.
Yes, this is the 3rd time. 3rd time lucky. And we just really, often like refer to you. So as soon as Bonga came up with the topic idea, let's chat about dyslexia. Immediately, I was like, I know someone, Juicy J. So then immediately I reached out to you and you were like, sure, I'll come on. And so just segueing into that, I think people already know who Justice Mukheli is. If you don't know who he is, check him out. World-renowned, we're talking about it off a world-renowned artist, photographer, this and that. I really couldn't list all your accolades at one go, but you're all that and more. And you've managed to do all of this living and surviving with dyslexia, and I think it's something that we need to touch on. And so maybe if we can just start there. Let's touch on your upbringing with dyslexia. Did you know you had it? At which point do you realize? And I know that maybe I'm jumping forward in the questions, but for me, it's like, at which point do you realize that I'm actually struggling with this thing? Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Soweto. I was in middle class. I was under that. So that meant I went to schools that were a bit underprivileged. And the teachers, I would like to think they were not educated enough to know or identify children with dyslexia.
Yes.
So because of that, my twin brother and I were just dumb kids in the class. That unfortunately, not only because of their doings, but maybe it's a culture thing and societal thing. Teachers were bullies, and
That's so true.
yeah, teachers were bullies, and they would put us down. And if you can't read like other kids, and if you're shy, and if you're not shining, it's tough. Let alone being a dark kid, it was tough. So throughout high school, till I was in grade 11, I was 20. That's when I realized that I've got dyslexia, because I went to a school where a teacher said, hang on, the thing that you are dealing with here is dyslexia, because you're not dumb, But imagine, through school, I repeated pretty much every grade.
Oh, Lord.
And it was worrying because I knew I was not dumb, but I could not get the things right systematically. Because teachers would have to write a test on any subject. And I was I would like to think my brother and I were bright. But teachers couldn't see that, because when you have to write the test, what you wrote does not make sense. So when I wrote, for example, if I have to write the cat jump onto a tree, I'd say there and skip cat and write tree, and write there and skip tree, then
Yes, I hear you.
But in my eyes,
You see it all.
I can see it.
You see it all, yeah.
Then I also struggled with spelling.
Yeah.
Because my type of dyslexia, I see shapes, I don't see alphabets. Right? So if I have to write dyslexia, I won't be able to write that.
You might draw it.
Yeah, I know
The shape.
the shape of
Wow.
The word.
it, right? So when we're doing spelling bee, I'm obviously getting 0.
Yeah, you're getting some shape right, but I
Yes.
hear what you're saying.
Right? And
Ooh.
again, in the schools that we went to, teachers were not impressed. They didn't see an opportunity to interrogate why. You know, because when they spoke to me, I knew what everyone was talking about. I knew the subjects. I knew if they could talk to
In
me,
verbal, yeah.
if they could talk to
Yes,
me.
yes.
But they never took the time to talk to me because they are talking through what's written. You know, so I'm given a textbook which I'm struggling to read because I can't read with comprehension. Because everything I'm reading, I'm skipping words. It's not making sense to me. And no one's taking the time to say, this is Penny and Pet. I mean, I'm that generation, Penny and Pet.
Yes.
Right? Where I don't even know the storyline to date. I only know that it's a girl and a boy. Because I could not read with comprehension.
Yes.
Because I'm skipping words. But teachers couldn't take the opportunity to say, this is simple. You know what each word means. Why can't you put it together?
And the proper training that's offered to other kids with different opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then that caused my basics in primary school because at where I was, if you don't do well and you repeat a grade, they're gonna push you forward. You won't fail it twice.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you did not do well, no one is gonna say, okay, Justice and Patwani did not do well this term or this year. They have to repeat. But we have to give them attention to understand what the issue is. And also my mom is not going to school to say, okay, my boys are repeating. What's the problem? Because also culturally and just how we were brought up in the society I grew up in, if you are failing, you're getting a hiding.
Yes.
Right? So every year end, I knew that there's a hiding coming because I'm not applying myself. But I also did not know what my issue was. So that made me not like school. Because firstly, teachers are bullying me and they're telling me, you know, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're going to wash other kids' cars, you're going to do this, without taking the opportunity to understand. But second to that, the blessing for me was my mom.
I just is still what you're saying is actually affecting my heart. Like, so people are saying teachers
Teachers.
are speaking.
Teachers, your teacher, someone that needs to be your safety, is saying openly in front of everyone. So that trauma of that experience affects me to date. Right? Because in primary school, my teachers were bullies. They would laugh at me. They would make fun of me and my brother in front of all the kids. That, yes, you guys are so stupid. You know, you are not gonna amount to anything. You're gonna wash all the other kids' cars. Look at you. You know, and that was hard. Then if my teacher is saying that in front of everyone, it gives all the other kids
Permission to do that as well.
permission to bully me and my brother. Then what that created, we isolated ourselves.
Yeah.
Then when we knew that there's reading or there's a test, there's whatever, I'm not going to school because I'm going to be humiliated. Right? And I'm also dealing with a parent that grew up the same system. So she doesn't know how to help me. Or she doesn't even know if there's an issue.
Yes.
Right? Maybe what she's seeing is that these guys need to apply themselves. But fortunately, my mom had so much faith in my brother. She would always say, don't worry about what everyone says. They don't understand you. You know, you guys are special. They don't understand you. You know, lean into what you are good at. You know, draw. My brother and I were very athletic. So lean into that. Do that. Don't worry about the other things you can't get right. You know, they don't understand you. So her words, as much as sometimes she did not understand and sometimes she'd deal with us the same way teachers were dealing with us, she had a lot of words of affirmation.
Yes, and love.
And love that they don't understand you. It's fine. Don't worry about that. You'll do better. at sports. You'll do better at drawing. You'll do better at programming.
Sure.
Or we were good at a lot of other things, just not the things that the systematic way of doing things
Yes.
through school.
Yes.
Is it Albert Einstein? I'm not too sure, who says if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree,
Yeah.
then it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid.
Yes.
It's Albert Einstein.
That's Einstein.
Because even when it comes to the how kids were measured by tests and etc., it's not that they couldn't do it, it's just the method didn't work for them.
Yes.
So if you were testing me in other ways, perhaps I would do better. In fact, I would do better.
And you're so right when you talk about, just learning certain learning disabilities at an early age, from your ADHDs to your dyslexias. Because I remember when I got to Varsity Tuks University, some students were allowed to have verbal testing,
Yes.
and you could tell that this is something they came with from high school because they couldn't articulate themselves via writing because of whatever learning disability they had.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, this option exists, and those are the things that, being in, I'd even say overall black, because I was middle class, I went to a private school.
Yeah.
That option was still not there.
Yeah,
so you'd really have to be upper echelon to have
get
learned
that.
or to have gotten that
lucky to
kind
And
of...
to
reading.
exercise those rights.
Yes, exercise those rights because they write letters. Even now,
From psychiatrists,
yes,
from this, from
yes.
that.
Even now, all the assistance they need, there's certain students that can apply for extra time because they don't read as fast.
Yes.
And they've got a learning disability that says, I can't read as fast. I need more time, And so just learning that those options are there that we just did not know about,
Yeah, and the system beat you down. And I can't imagine how many of guys in my generation and in my society did not amount to anything because of that system. Because they were not afforded the help or they were not seen.
Yes.
Lucky for me and my twin brother, we had each other, and we also had a mother that had a different view.
Yes.
That you don't have to exist in a system that you can't exist in.
Yes.
Create your own. Be an artist. My mother was so encouraging that you don't have to work. You've got a home. I'll always be here. If I'm here, I'll be there for you. Just do what you love and do it at the best of your capability, and that's success. So I'm so grateful for that. But with dyslexia and the trauma of my primary school, I carried it into high school. So when I was in high school, I did not like school again because I knew they were going to expect from me what I cannot do. I can't read out loud.
Yes.
I can't read fast.
Yes.
I can't write fast. With comprehension, or I can't articulate myself as clear in writing. Then when I got through high school, which I could not finish, unfortunately, I had an opportunity to get into a working space, which was advertising, because I had the art skill. Then when I got there, I'm being sent briefs in forms of writing. So my twin brother and I had to get into the office early to get through that brief between maybe 6 and 9 so that we understand what they want from us. Then we can spend an hour or two trying to write what our response to that is.
Sure.
Imagine, now I'm
Amount
22,
of
23,
effort. Yes.
right? I don't have the tool that will empower me to shine as a creative.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
you don't even get to the creative part.
you don't even get to the
Still
creative
busy
because
trying
you
to
are
understand the
spending
brief.
in a day you are spending 5 hours
Trying to read.
trying to read and articulate your thought.
Sure,
Do
but
you
the
know?
determination was there.
I had no choice, and I had my brother. That helped me because when the going gets tough, I can look in his eyes and he'll pick me up and say, no, man, it's cool. We're good. Then when he's down, I'm picking him up.
Yes.
And if we're both down, yes, we'll cry it out. But what can we do? Because I don't have matric. I don't have a certificate that will allow me to walk into opportunities that I dream of. this is the one.
This
and
has to
only.
work out.
It has to work out. You know, so yeah, I'm grateful I had the perseverance and I had my brother. I'm so grateful for him. You know, because I don't know if I would have had the heart that I have if he wasn't
If you didn't have
there
somebody
with
constantly,
me.
yes,
You
in it
know?
with you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about, I have a lot of educators in my family, and I'm thinking about the challenge they face in terms of when they can see a child has learning difficulties, and they let the parent know, and the parent is the one that's resistance, that gives resistance to
Yes.
their child going to a special needs school.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with just society's perceptions of special needs schools, you know, because one of my family members would be like, I can see this, I did educational psychology, so I can see this child has difficulties and it's in a public setting and I can do referrals and all of that, but I get resistance from the parent.
Because the parents, I also grew up in a time where I went to some school in Langlaagte and there was a school next to our school called Grootveld, and it was a special needs school. All of us from Langlaagte would look at the kids from Grootveld as they are crazy or there's something wrong with them and would laugh at them. And in that time, if that door was open for me to go to that school, I would kill myself. It would be the last thing I'd want to do because I'm not a special case. So it's the education thing again where
I can relate to this one. I was in the Valke Krugerland. Or is it
Yeah.
How no gonna
Kapo
Krugerland?
Thabo Vuyo.
Yeah.
Yes, Tabavu, and you'd always like Krugerland, Krugerland.
Best,
You know,
best.
yes, I don't wanna lie, I was
and
part
you
of them.
laugh at them.
Not even laugh at them, I would be scared of them. Which now when I look back, that is so stupid. I was scared of kids that had dyslexia.
So that's
but I would
it's a
be- because we were
societal
taught that.
thing.
And it would be amazing to even get people from there that are in spaces where they are doing well. As an example,
Sure,
You
I
know?
hear you.
as an example that no, that school just provided a system that works for someone that doesn't work in a system where we all had to just fit in.
Yes.
You know, I struggled so, you know how hard I struggled. I struggled to date. You know, in high school I struggled. But if that door opened, there is no way I'm going to Grootveld. No, angihlali.
I hear you.
You know,
The stigma around
stigma.
it.
Yes.
there's
And our
stigma.
society, nje,
Imagine,
how we conditioned
yeah,
to think.
now I'm a film director professionally, right? So I'm a film director in the commercial space. I have systems now that help me articulate myself well and my creativity and whatever. And now we write a lot and we do these big presentations and we present to our clients who are agencies. And most of the time, I'll say to our clients, you know, to my producers, we need to send the presentation ahead, ask them to read it ahead so that I can talk them through it.
Yes, yes.
Because I won't be able to
Yes.
read it through.
Yes.
Right? You'll do all that. Send it a day before, hours before, put reminders and whatever. Then you get into the meeting and you say, hey, what did you think? No, we haven't read it. You must take us through it.
Nahan.
To date. And why? Because they are not aware of the difference in people.
Yeah.
You know?
Some public knowledge.
I may not be able to present in a way that other people do. I may need a way that will accommodate my way of doing things. But because the world sees one system as
it.
this is,
Yes.
you know, if you don't present this thing and visualize it and do it the way whoever the other guy did it, who wrote this thing for you? Is it even yours? You know? So those difficulties are still there. Then I did therapy for my dyslexia to untangle my trauma in primary school. Because my trauma with not being able to read and the public speaking and all of that was so deep. When I look at words and I have to read them to you, it's impossible because I'm now that small boy in Mrs. Zuma's class and she's saying to me, are you stupid? You can't read can. You know? I remember this was tough. My brother, I got asked to write my name for the first time. I did not know where to start, right? And I've had months of practice at home as a kid, you know. My mom would say, okay, write Justice or write Rendan, and I'd try. Then this teacher said I must write my name. But because she was shouting at everyone else.
When it got to you, the nerves, yeah.
And now I'm asking my brother, how do I spell Rendani? How do I spell Justice? And now he's also trembling and we are together helpless. And the bully teacher is
coming.
She's here. And I have to answer. And I'm so scared. I can't even talk. I can't even see anything.
Yeah, now you're
I'm
just in
frozen.
survival mode. Yeah, like
Yes.
you're just trying to breathe, actually.
And now 38-year-old me is in front of my clients with a presentation they haven't read that is 80 pages. And they say to me,
go through it.
Yeah, cool. We haven't, just take us through it, Justice. And I would like to say I'm exceptionally creative. When we pitch against we pitch against two other people, so it's a three-way pitch. The other guy who's my friend I'm pitching against is probably as good, but he doesn't have the shortcomings I have. And the other guy probably went to St. John's or Cares, and I'm dealing with those guys when they get there. You know, it's flowing. St. John's, they had remedial classes and this and this. It's easy. They don't have those issues. They've known therapy from when they were 5. I knew therapy when I was 36. Right? And my other friend here who's I'm pitching against, he probably went to Cares or Hilton or whatever. I mean, yes, it's beautiful that they got those opportunities.
Yes, but I hear what you're saying.
I'm coming in with my Langlachte Tech or Azara. Yes.
Technicon. Oh, yeah. I hear you.
With no remedial classes, with nothing. There was no system that identified that, no, okay, you need to do it this way. You know?
This is how you overcome
And they say, yeah, take us through it, Justice.
But what do you do?
How I've done therapy again.
Yes.
Now I'm going to bring the tools that I learned to get through this difficulty.
Yes.
But the challenge is always here.
Yeah.
You know, my inferiority complex.
Yes.
You know, my teacher is there in front of the people, laughing at me for not being able to pronounce can. You know, all those things are there. All I need to do now is just say, calm down, you're reading to yourself.
Yes.
Then I speak through it. Sometimes I win, sometimes it's not. You know, but when I face a room that did not, were not mindful of my shortcomings, it's tough.
Ne?
It's tough. Yeah, some people will read it through. Then when we get into the presentation, they say, oh, amazing, that was cool. Do you want to just talk through this or whatever? Then I can say, yeah, we can just expand on things. And I was really passionate about this part and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
It's flowing. But you get into a crowd that's like my teacher.
Now, so present.
Yeah. You know,
I hear that.
Fortunately, because I'm where I am and it's important to invest in myself. And also I was working with a team of people that believed in me. My producer then, Mark G. Harrison, said, we need to find therapy for you. Because when I joined the company, they said, I told them, this is how I do things, this is how I present, then they said, no, we need to try to do it this way, but you have to do therapy. We must go to therapy. Then I said, I've been thinking about, let's do it. Then I went to therapy for a year.
Thank goodness your pride didn't get in the your male ego didn't get
I will
in the way.
never have pride for my future.
Ooh.
Because that pride is closing
It's
at
standing
my
in the
own
way.
doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said yes. Then I went to Speak Well in Sentin. And every Friday I was there for 2 hours. And the therapy was hard. You know, you talk through the traumas, then we do exercises like a child. Because
Vele, it's the inner child.
I'm still a child. You know? But I could not have an ego towards that, because I need to go through this to have a breakthrough, so that when I pick up my presentation and the words that I wrote,
Yes.
I can read.
Yes.
You know? Because with that trauma, words that I wrote, I cannot read.
Yes.
Sure.
They scare me. You know, I had to, for a long time, I read to my partner every night, like a child. And she had the patience. And sometimes it was embarrassing. But she'd say, love, it's cool.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Wow, this time it was amazing. And, you know, and when I'm walking out there in the streets looking like a cool guy, no one knows how much effort I'm putting in to have the opportunities I dream of.
Yes.
Like reading, imagine Ngonabat Kabala Moli. We have bedtime reading.
This was actually a more sad episode than I expected it to be. I actually didn't expect that. Like, yes.
But I have to share this, because if you are living with this, unfortunately the world might not accommodate you in the way you need.
Yes.
You need to find a way. And I had to find a way to lean on my brother, to lean on my partner, to lean on my colleagues. And sometimes I constantly have to remind them that, guys, we have to send this thing ahead, because I'm shit scared. You know, sometimes the tools I got go out the window, and we're pitching for millions of rands. And there we are. I haven't even worked the whole year. And we've got a big opportunity, and I can't even read one word from that thing. And my colleagues are backing me, they believe in me and whatever. But sometimes they don't, they look at me in my glory and think, man, it's justice, guys. Justice, you've got this.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're cheering, but they've never met my inner child.
Oh, which your brother has, though. And I wanted to touch on that. You speak of the, you know, tribulation with your brother. That's the journey. But now when you speak into the success part, you speak only as in like the tools. You're going to Speak Well and Sant. And Patwani also went through the same thing. Were you also dragging him along saying, oh, my brother's so dyslexic? Or he had to go on his own journey?
Yeah, I had to. I mean, we are in the same relative industries, but sometimes our journeys are not...
Exactly,
we're not in the same path or same train.
Okay.
So he had to get in his own train.
Yes.
And have his own realizations. Obviously, when I was doing the Speak Well thing, I'm with him every day. You know, I told him, Fana, this is amazing. This is doing this for me. Then I didn't realize that he has done that type of journey. You know, at some point he said, oh yeah, I did a training like this when I was at this place. They helped me with presentation and this and this. You know, we always share.
Yes.
You know, the other day he was telling me how he writes, you know, what he needs to do to be able to write. And it was so empowering. I thought, damn, you know. And sometimes, because he's probably the closest person to me, I forget that, you know, he's his own person and with his own intention and purpose and things that he's doing. I feel like my experiences are his. And sometimes I overlook so much, you know.
Yes.
Like my brother, I never thought my brother loved film, because that's the one thing that we might not be he's not a film director. He's everything I am but a film director.
Yes.
The other time we were talking about film, and the way he was
passion,
then I was like, no, technical.
Oh,
I thought, when did you learn that? But I also forget that he's walked the path that I've walked.
Yes.
You know?
And you guys share so much.
Yeah, we share so much. And his understanding was far better than mine. Anyway, yeah. So.
No, and even as you're chatting, I have, one person, a very good friend of mine that I can think of their story with dyslexia, and I think I can share it very openly.
Yeah.
If, she watches the show, she's like, hey, that's my story, I'm sorry. But I remember, diagnosed with dyslexia, she went to the special school and whatever, and then I think, at some point she falls pregnant soon afterwards, very young, high school pregnancy. And then after that, it was just, shame of it all. Her other talents and expertise have not been able to be harvested, into a way that's productive into our common society. So basically, she was unemployed. And then, I always contrasted her to another girl that fell pregnant, high school pregnancy, but was extremely bright. I remember she fell pregnant, she gave birth on a Thursday. On Monday, she was writing an exam with us, and she passed. So I always contrast the two stories that, in essence, the difference here, they both made a mistake, right? But the difference here was that the one was able to quickly integrate in what society expected of her, at the very least be smart and intelligent and get the distinction on Monday, which she did. Those of us who are not pregnant, we didn't get a distinction on Monday. You know what I mean? It's laughable. But I remember just looking at these two stories that seemed like, and I said the big difference here is that this specific friend of mine struggles with dyslexia, and so now they're a double burden to the family. They're a double burden to society. They, just viewing this disability as this burden is something that, carries and walks with her. You speak of going to these presentations and asking them to read the brief and whatever, and you're sharing with us openly now. But do you ever feel in spaces where I actually don't want to share my story? I don't want to share that I'm dyslexic. I don't want to go through that.
I always see it as I cannot not share, because the world sometimes is not present enough to accommodate me and my shortcomings. So if I am vulnerable, I give everyone an opportunity to accommodate me, So I always have to share. I don't see it as a burden. I don't see it as a crutch. I don't see myself as... I don't see it as a disability. I see it as an advantage. Even though sometimes some people are not going to take it on and say, okay, cool, Justice can't do this. Let's read it through. Because he writes his things in detail, you'll get all the juicy stuff you need, then he'll talk you through it. But I will always put myself in a space where people can accommodate me. Because if they don't know, they cannot accommodate me. And I need them to accommodate me.
And at the very least, if they still reject you after your vulnerability, then you know that the flaw wasn't on your side.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna look at them funny or blame them, because I'm not entitled to that.
Sure.
It's I don't have the right to... Yeah, I don't. All I need to do is... I'm the one looking for opportunity here. So if they can't accommodate me, either intentionally or unintentionally, I just need to get on with it. Same, you speak of your friend and she had the disability and the other one was bright, but she fell pregnant and got distinctions. I'm probably your friend that has that disability. The difference with me, I always struggle like everyone else. I'm not brighter than everyone else. I'm not. I'd like to think. I just don't quit. That's the difference. My brother and I don't quit. The thing that I know is different about me is that I'm gonna outwork everyone. Because for me to be in your level, I have to work 10 times. Because my English is not at your level. My writing and articulation and reading and comprehension is not at your level. So for me to scratch that surface, I need to work 10 times harder. To beat you, I need to work 20 times harder. And I will do that. And I won't quit. In anything I do, that's my principle. I don't know. I started painting 2 years ago, right? When I started painting...
you told me that the other day. Can I just say my jaw dropped to the ground because you're doing so amazingly. But yes, continue.
Thank you. I am very curious, and I've got the blessing of ADD. So ADD creates a brain that's interested in a lot of things. And all those things fire up my endorphins and all that stuff that excites us. So when I find something that excites me,
sky's the limit.
I'm gonna give it my all
Yes.
to understand how it works. So I'm gonna do it till the tires are finished. You know, so that I understand how it works. You know. So yeah, that's
So you become an expert.
well, yeah, in my own level.
Yes, yes,
Again,
yes.
the level in art, you are at the mercy of the universe or whoever
Yes.
the people are. But for myself, I'm gonna grind hard. You know, even being a film director, a photographer, I know what it took for me to be that. I had to work significantly harder. I still do because I'm not at the level that I wish to be in. You know, but it will take long or longer, but I'm not gonna quit because I'm not a quitter. Even if I can't write well, even if I can't speak well, even if I can't present like other, I'm gonna get it, guys. And I've got time. You know, I might be significantly older than other people in my industry or all the things that I'm doing. I don't care. It doesn't stop me. I've got time.
And to be honest, just a basic story like what you're saying, arriving 3 hours before work actually starts. That's a basic example of something that other people are not willing
to do.
Now ask me now, or if you get 3 hours before, there's no way, you know.
There's a saying that says, great people become great when others are sleeping.
Sure.
I loved that. When I read that, you know what? I mean, success is relative, but everyone can be successful at whatever you want. And the blueprint is simple. Work harder than any person in that thing you want to be. Simple. And be consistent. Don't be entitled to the success. Just work hard. Don't look at work hard. That's it.
That concept. Because I'm thinking, I really am thinking of the specific, but what makes you think like that? What is it? Is it your mom? Is it, what is it?
I mean, partly my mom never instilled the work hard. I mean, I saw her work hard because she also had no choice when my dad left, and it was the four of us. So she had no day off. She had to work. But for me, what instilled it in me is realizing that I won't get opportunities like other kids because I don't have education. And even if I want it, it's going to be hard for me to get it because the system does not work the way I work. So when that door cracks open a little bit of opportunity,
work your ass off.
Guys, that's all I have, Mus. That's all I have. I remember my brother and I, we met our mentor and brother as well now when we were significantly young in Soweto. And he worked in advertising, and he opened that door for us because he could see our potential because we were already doing all those things in our own time.
Yes.
You know, when he opened that door and we were at Draft FCB with 8 other interns and we were not trained, and they went to City Varsity, AAA and Vega and paid hundreds of thousands a year for that. And we're competing with them for a job. Guys, I'm going to outwork these guys. They don't know me. I've got hard work. I don't have, that's all I have. You know, I may not read faster than you, but I'll have 5 hours ahead of you.
Because I will get you at 6.
I'm gonna
I will get you at 6.
If we are designing something that the boss needs to approve and it's 10 people and they're going to choose 2, my brother and I are going to make 20 each. They will make 2 each. We will make 20.
So the options for us,
There has to be one.
Yeah, I want this thing. And I don't have Vega. I'm not going to go to an agency and say, hey guys, I went to Vega. I'm from...
I love the accent change.
Hey
guys.
I sound like a comrade. Already everything is...
Yeah.
working against me. You know? So if I'm a comrade amongst saint people, guys, I must come with options. Then the boss says, no, who are these guys? Where are you guys from? You know, then, cool. Where did you go to school? No, we didn't go to school. Then where did you learn this? Now he has an interest because I'm working harder than everyone. You know, my designs may not be technically as good as the rest of the guys because they've had the fundamentals.
Yes.
But the guy that holds the keys, when they see that determination, they see themselves, good, man, these guys, I can give them this basic, they'll be amazing.
Yes.
Because you invest in potential, you invest
Yes.
in someone that's already doing, that has the heart.
That's true.
When I give people opportunity in my respectful field of things, all I look for is who I was. If I see a young guy that's driven like me, oh, this person is worth a shot. Not a cool guy who's telling me about, who's got an accent, who's wearing cool clothes. He looks the part. Where's the work? I did not look the part. I definitely did not sound the part as well. In agencies, when everyone was speaking about all the things they speak of, I had no idea what they were talking about because I'm a guy from the hood. You know?
Yeah.
My tsotsi style is thick. My accent as a comrade is thick. I can't escape this thing. All I need to do is to accept it and just work hard.
Sure. I'm not even going to ask you for parting words because I feel like the parting word is work hard. Which is, and I think it can easily come across as, it could seem insensitive if I said somebody who doesn't struggle with dyslexia to go and point fingers and be like, Wena, you must imagine I'd be the bully teacher. Yeah, I would be the bully teacher if I said, but here it is from the horse's mouth who's saying that the only way I managed to.
Yeah. All I can say to other people that probably live with this challenge is find what works for you. What has worked for me may not work for you. I've got very close friends that fundamentally in how we see the world and how we see looking for opportunity is different because their experiences are different. My experience taught me that you have no shot, and if you get a shot, I hit it hard. Work hard. That's what has worked for me. In all industries I've gotten into, from getting into retail, from getting into advertising, into directing, into photography, that system worked for me. I had to work harder than everyone. And working hard for me looks like, if you are getting into any industry, understand how it works. Look at the top people, look at how they do things, break it down and apply it in how you do it, in a way that you would do it. That's what I did. Even in painting, I look at all the top. Okay, how do they do this? How do they do this? What makes an amazing artist? Then I look at amazing artists that I find amazing and they're celebrated. Then I break it down. Then I'll take that formula and do it 20 times every day. No, they'll say, "Hey Mona, osebetsa Sunday." Yes, it's nice. I like it because I have my end goal. I know what has worked for me.
This is so. I bumped into you the other day, just around brunch time. Next thing I check on Instagram, you're back in the studio. I'm like, this guy, it's a Sunday.
Yes, but for me, it's not work. I'm having fun. And whilst I'm having fun, I'm creating that opportunity. For me, I've had to create opportunities for myself where they won't. I remember with my brother long ago, we had an idea for a photography thing that we wanted to do. We were not even photographers, and we went to a photographer and we asked him to shoot this stuff for us, and he said, you have to pay me my rate and whatever. Then I said, no, it will work out, blah 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 blah. Anyway, him turning us down was a blessing because I became a photographer because he said no. Then when I became one, I had to hit it hard. I had to do it. I used to take photos asleep with my camera. Then I'd look, okay, cool, it does this. I'm so obsessed with it. But my dyslexia taught me that no one will accommodate you. What's going to get you accommodated is if you are good.
And you're producing.
Yeah, if you are good, in creative or in anything, if you are good, the door is gonna open. But you can't just arrive and say, "Hey guys, I've got dyslexia, you must arrive with your things lined up so that when that door opens a bit and they try open and read your presentation, the first slide is gonna grab them. You know, if it doesn't grab them, and if you don't win there, when you are now presenting and they are looking at your visuals and how you've done things, it blows them away.
Something
must be above average for me to be accommodated.
Sure.
Because my shortcoming is a huge gap.
Sure.
People think the inability to read like normal people is this. It's not a small thing.
Do you, I know we're running out of time. Do you ever look at it as more of a blessing in the sense
a blessing.
that, in the sense that I feel like it's, I don't know, maybe it unlocked a certain level of creativity because you are wildly creative.
Thank you. It has been a blessing, but it doesn't mean it's not challenging. It's super challenging. Like let me tell you something simple. To write 100-word paragraph or whatever they are called, for me, can take me 2 hours or 3 if I have to write them. For someone that is a regular person, like, I see my partner, she's like, oh yeah, I love blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's so amazing. I don't have that. Imagine having to write 80 pages, having to write a script that says, you open and a guy walking down an alley and there's a fire, in the distance, and the camera moves from.
Yeah, even having to be very descriptive about.
That's impossible. That one scene, which maybe is 20 words, it's an hour or 2 hours for me.
Yes.
So I have to do it 20 times.
And the thing that is coming to my mind is also just how there's space for everyone, though. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's just that but thank goodness we're learning. It's podcasts like this. It's, information that's coming to the fore, that we're learning that there is space for everyone, because there is space for the person who can write down a descriptive text. Because, Netflix has this thing for people that are blind, where they describe the scene.
Yeah.
So only as you were saying it, I'm realizing somebody wrote that script. I actually didn't think of it. Somebody wrote that script, right? So there's space for that person as well. There's space for the voiceover artist that does that narration. There's space for the creative that thinks of that scene.
Do you know what's important again in whatever shortcomings you may have? Don't feel sorry for yourself, because no one cares. So if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're just holding yourself back. Imagine being the young justice. Obviously it was damn painful with my twin brother, and we just look at each other and cry and feel sorry for yourself. And then what? You mustn't feel sorry for yourself. Work around that shortcoming. Don't feel sorry for yourself, because you are not the first dealing with this issue. If you are the first, you are opening doors for many other kids, which your role is even more important. Even, I sometimes get into situations where I'm like, I don't deserve to be here. And I feel so down, and I'm like, they're going to find out that this guy doesn't even have matric. He does, But when all those things come up, I have to assert my posture and say, no ways, I'm deserving to be here. I have to be here. I may not be able to read and whatever. Sometimes I might fumble and my voice retracts and I'm speaking with a shaky voice. I'm gonna go. I don't care. I'm called here because there's something they saw. I'm not gonna feel sorry for me. If I do, it will be for a short time, then I'll snap out of it.
Yes.
Because no one cares. Imagine now I'm presenting, then now I'm crying. Do you think they're gonna award me the job and say,
actually, by the way, I've got dyslexia.
So sorry. Okay, we'll give you a shame. Nothing like that. I have to pick myself up and soldier on. If it doesn't work, there's another one that's gonna come. That's the way of the universe.
And, honestly speaking, you mentioned it earlier, Bonga, to say justice is here, he's saying it. I mean, you're somebody that's gone above and beyond in the creative space, and you've achieved so much, like I said at the beginning. Like, I can't finish all your accolades. And not just to, blow a trumpet, but to say that this is somebody who, it's not like Ursula saying it. This is a real,
This is a guy with a comrade accent.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean? And somebody that's gone on to really go against the trajectory that You know,
It's
we were talking about it
predetermined
earlier. Predetermined. We were talking about it earlier about just, you know, the end result of like a lot of young boys, young men in our community ending up in drugs, nyaope, this and that, opportunities that. So sometimes when you look at the trajectory that the story that you're built in says you're supposed to go, and you go against the grain, let's listen to those people. So we're listening to you.
Yeah, it's very important, that thing, and people need to remember that success is for everyone. It's not for a chosen few. You choose yourself to be successful. It's for everyone. There's room for everyone. All of us. You can be successful. It's not, once I realized that thing, I thought, damn, that's amazing. I have to claim this thing for, you know what? You have to take full control of your life and your path. Full control. Don't leave things to the universe and go, I've prayed.
That's
I've
the
done
buzzword.
this. No, I get it. Yes, we can do all those things. Take full control because you can get it. You will get it. If you say you want to be successful, there's no way you'll get it. Just take full control. Don't leave even the smallest thing to someone else. Don't lean on people. Don't lean on, hey, I went to CARES, or don't lean on, I went to Mshuantam, or I didn't go
What's
to,
Mshuantam?
it's
Why are you
a
laughing?
public school in Soweto.
Okay.
Don't look at those things and say, but people that come from where I come from, there's nothing like that. Everyone can be successful.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
you.
much for sharing with us.
Yeah.
And like, I can always trust you to be extremely vulnerable with us and just
sure.
share the truth of you. So you didn't come here and go, I'm just like saying, but I'm doing the most.
Made it.
And list all your accolades. If anything, we listed your accolades more than you, and
that stuff is not what makes me.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I said it in the last episode where I talked about sending the lift back down. What's the quote? Charlotte Makreke? I didn't check it still. If you're lucky enough to get to the top, make sure you send the lift back down. And I believe that conversations like this, are just opportunities of you sending the lift back down, allowing people to really engage. And so we thank you for that. We thank you for your time. Bonga, also thank you to you, Voice of Reason, as always. That was today's episode of The Conversation Capital, Living with Dyslexia. We'd like to hear from you. What's your experience? Do you have any learning disabilities, from ADHD to dyslexia to this to that? And what's your experience been? We'd really love for you to engage with us. But thank you so much to the TCC family. We keep growing and growing and growing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.